Lobster Productions.
Things are going to start happening to me now.
I think Tyler is amazing.
And I'm a fan of this show. I've watched several episodes.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Tyler. You stink, Tyler.
Never promise crazy a baby.
Oh, I like that. That's a cool idea.
Are either of you homosexuals?
I go both ways. What do you think?
You mean like flaming or?
No, we're not homosexual, but we are willing to learn.
But I do wonder, for others, in other cases, whether libertarianism today is just an excuse for many on the right to act selfishly.
Look at me. And then some fat asses in Washington started having opinions. The Olympic Committee started having opinions. You bitch, I know you! You started writing your opinions.
And it just makes me wonder, you're dead, bitch. You know, why are you doing this to this poor guy?
I don't care. I'm a libertarian. What I'm getting is,
Did you vote for Joe Jorgensen or Trump?
Who?
Joe Jorgensen. That was the perfect answer. Thank you.
Welcome, Tyler Yonke, LPR Friday. Eddie's in the chat. Welcome, Eddie. We'll wait around a little bit for some others. It's a Friday show. We always come to you on Friday, mostly always comes to you on Friday. We're gonna, last week we did, or Wednesday, we did a little bit of legal stuff. I hope you enjoyed that. Go check that out. We need more subscribers. We need more viewers, people. So come on in. Tonight, though, we're gonna. It's a busy day at work, and I cut myself shaving this morning. I used the Nadeau shaver. I used those, and maybe it's someone said on my last podcast on Spotify, they're like, you talking about Jose makes me feel like you're clutching pearls at this point. And I'm like, one, I'm not sure what that means, but two, I can't afford pearls. I don't wear them or have them. I don't know what that means. Maybe I've ruined that situation. Like I said, I did reach out to Jose. Crickets. Do we have crickets here? I said this last time and I didn't have crickets. I do have it on one of my soundboards, and there you go. There's the crickets. Okay. Anyway, maybe I ruined that friendship. Bummer. I'm a little disappointed about that. LPR, Tyler Yonke, we're going to talk to you about stuff that's happening in the world this weekend, or this week. I'm not a big fan. This is part of my problem with the right, which is they do act sanctimonious. I'm more of a person on the right. But your leaders out there, your grifters, they do come across a lot of times much more sanctimonious. It's like only the violent on the left. And it's like, okay, free speech. We have free speech. And then they do that kind of crap. But some of it is the way that they just lie. And then they act like they're the honest ones. And so whether you love Candace or don't love Candace, we're going to talk a little bit about her stuff here, because this just blew me away. One, I've never been a fan of one of the guys we're going to talk about. Two of them, actually three of them, here right away. And it is, I think actually I'm going to need to, hang on. I didn't get this set up before time. So there we go. Okay. So, make sure we have all the cameras working. We do have all the cameras working. There we go. YouTube. There we go. So Patrick McDavid, he's got a big show, and I think he's somewhat of a grifter. I don't mind Vinny on there so much. The old guy's okay, but that Adam Sosnick is he's unwatchable, somewhat deplorable. And by the way, if something bad happened to him, there's the disclaimer you say all the time now, I'd feel bad for his family. I really would, just like Charlie Kirk. Okay, but sometimes you do understand when you hate someone so much. Anyway, don't advocate violence. That's first and foremost. However, Candace Owens used to be a part of Turning Point, one of the founders with Charlie Kirk. He was the impetus behind this all. JC's in the chat. Welcome here. Lainey Haberdach's in here as well. A lot of Jacques Cielo strategy going on with the right. Ultimately, some of it is necessary. Yeah, I get it. and then maybe you, but that's not going to be my conversation today. That's for someone else. Steven Crowder came out and he's advocating violence. Is he? I don't know. It's a little bit nuanced what he was saying, and I just wouldn't go down that route. I wouldn't. But anyway, here we are. So Patrick Bet-David, he's, I just think he's not great. He hires completely wankers, and then people keep coming to his show. Fine. But I'm talking about this mostly because of the conversation. So he has Eric Bolling on. Now, if you don't know Eric Bolling, he prided himself as some sort of amazing financial guy. He was on Fox News for a little while. I think they got rid of him. There was some issues of him diddling some chicks and whatnot. There was a tragedy. His son took some drugs and they were laced with fentanyl. I believe this is correct. It's just bull coming out of my memory. And his son had an OD. Okay, tragic situation, something you should never want to deal with. With that said, condolences to him and everything, but he is kind of a piece of shit, okay? I felt bad for him at the time, but I'm also like, I don't like him. And then he left Fox and he's been doing, podcast shit or whatever. He looks horrible. Now, so Patrick Bet-David has him on here. And by the way, let me know how the volumes are because I'm going to play this and I think it should be loud enough to come from YouTube. But if it's not, let me know.
Great to be on with you. We got Eric Bolling in the house and we got a lot of story to cover with you guys. And the interesting thing about Eric is, Eric, you sit on the board of Turning Point USA, and you had to announce the assassination attempt and the assassination when he died live while you were doing your show.
Yep. Yeah, it was live. We came on.
Okay, so he looks horrible. But I want to say that the point I'm playing here is you're a board member of Turning Point USA. He doesn't deny it. And then he goes on as if volume seems fine. Thanks, Eddie. Andy complained about it the other day. So I'll just kind of make sure our hits are good. Speaking of hits, let's take.
Yeah, none of us are screaming, "Let's kill Tyler." That's not. You would never hear any of us saying.
Yeah, we're not screaming that. Okay, so that's the first portion, and then I'm going to. I want you can search here for because then they talk about Candace later on, and that part was important. So now we will go here to
Candace Owens and Bill Ackman. Candace Owens comes out, Rob, if you want to play this clip. Candace Owens comes out with allegations against Bill Ackman and Seth Dillon in an explosive video. Is this the one, Rob?
Yeah, so this is the first part where she talks about Bill Ackman inviting Charlie Kirk to the Hamptons.
Go for it.
In the Hamptons, and he had more than one event, but he had essentially what was staged, an intervention was staged by Bill Ackman because Charlie's rational thoughts about Israel were a no-no. This is not the route that you should be going on. And Charlie was surrounded by his friends, his quote-unquote friends. Bill Ackman was very upset and threats were made. That is what I am told, and I will tell you that I am very happy for Bill Ackman to dispute this narrative. In fact, he was asked to dispute this narrative. Max Blumenthal went out to him today, and Bill Ackman came back and said, I have receipts I can show you, and he did not provide the receipts. This is not how it went down. I know it went down this way. I'm waiting for one of them to go on record and to say that it didn't go down this way. It was at this time that Bibi Netanyahu was called and Charlie was invited to Israel. This was an under duress situation, I would say.
Okay, so that's that part. Now,
no, I want to make some comments about that. Okay, first of all, Candace has said, look, this whole Israel thing blew up because Harrison from InfoWars said that Charlie Kirk was concerned for his life because of Israel, because of kind of how things had gone. Dave Smith coming to America Fest, having a debate with Josh Hammer, who had destroyed at like some Ivy League school and then came there, destroyed him again. The crowd was with Dave, okay? Charlie Kirk then has Tucker Carlson, who's targeted. And by the way, when they say Seth Dillon is horrible. The Babylon Bee people are horrible. They call everyone an anti-Semite if you don't want to have like some sort of Jewish food in your house, kosher food all the time. They're just they're almost worse than Ben Shapiro, okay? But all those, Mark Levin, they are right on line with that. So they hate Tucker because he speaks out or whatever. So anyway, so Charlie was having, pushback with this. It comes out then, he obviously gets killed. And then this whole narrative is kind of being built up. And what's his name? Oh, you guys help me. I don't know why. The Instagram, TikTok guy, Ian Carroll. Ian Carroll basically comes out and said, yeah, Israel is behind this with no proof. He gets pushback from people. Now, I will say this. Then Max Blumenthal writes an article a little more in depth talking about this stuff in the Hamptons, Charlie getting, is he making a turn away from Israel? And then there's some videos out there, Megyn Kelly he went on with, Tucker Carlson, he talks about it. And basically, like, there's stuff behind the scenes that Charlie wasn't giving in to the mob, so to speak, and that he felt like these people were bullying him. So there's all this. Netanyahu comes out immediately like, hey, I didn't kill him. Hey, by the way, did I tell you I didn't kill him? It's like, if this was your wife, the type of stuff, you're just like, what? It's just ridiculous. If she comes home and immediately just like, hey, by the way, I was out with the girls. I wasn't cheating on you. You're immediately like, wait, what? So it was a bit odd. The point I'm getting at here is Tucker, Candace. I've watched their stuff because I'm interested in this. They've never said Israel was to blame for the death. They want to find out who it is. Matter of fact, I think Candace might be stretching the limits a little bit more on like it's a CIA FBI operation that has to do with this. I'm open to the Israel thing. My point is those ones have not said that. And then Netanyahu comes out and says, people are saying this. And it's like, okay, are you really rebutting Ian Carroll or are you rebutting Candace? And which one is it? And could we use this as an excuse to arrest Israel? Okay. I really think Ian Carroll is an op to make the argument against Israel poorly. I'm starting to think that with this one because, and you guys see me here. What seltzers are we drinking tonight? You know what? I've been a bad boy. I've been riding my bike though. It's a Firestone IPA. Okay, there you go. Now, welcome, Band Photoshop. I appreciate you always checking in with your constant questions about what I'm degrading myself with. Ian Carroll, this is also my problem when you see stuff online. People we talked about with the Wednesday show, the legal show that we went over and did, which is Luigi Mangione, and they're dropping the first degree murder charges, and people are instantly posting about how this liberal, this guy, pontificating this. I'm assuming he was an attorney. He seemed to be. Why would they interview him? And he's on, Fox News saying like this is a liberal judge. It's like then you read it and you're just like, this is the same murder charges anybody would get. You would expect. It's just they were trying to enhance it with terrorism. It just didn't work. So I hate this sloppy work, and I think Ian Carroll is doing sloppy work by just immediately throwing it out as Israel. So I think I've got a point. You've got some points. Drinking some silver bullets. Nice, Eddie. Okay, so let's get back into this because now these guys are going to be making more comments.
Bill Ackman replies back, okay? If you go to Bill's tweet, Rob, Bill Ackman, $10 billion guy, he writes a long tweet.
My
right?
God.
I don't know if it's going to be tough to read it this way. If you can just go to a tweet because it's a long tweet.
I'm on 1.25. We're getting there.
Give you the gist of it, what he says. He says he talked to Charlie. Charlie said, I can get some Charlie Kirk Jr.'s out, about 100 million followers, influencers. Let's, no problem. Let's have a meeting. So they come down, they have the meeting, and he's just showing all the text messages back and forth. But there's a long message, Rob, that there's there. And then eventually they come to the Hamptons. I'm willing to address any questions, anything that people want to talk about. And then while they're there, I actually want to read this, Rob, if you can find it.
It might be one of the longest I've ever. I read the whole thing.
But Bill always posts long tweets.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Bill doesn't post. Rob, just go to his account. Keep going down, buddy. You were almost there. Yeah, just keep going down, and we'll get to keep going down. This is 2 days ago, so you got to keep going. Keep going faster, because you're at 24 hours, 19 hours.
Jesus.
So Bill Ackman, $10 billion.
Shows worse than
response.
There it is.
Right there. Okay, thank you. This afternoon, Candace Schumer is staging an intervention with Charlie Kirk. Threats were made with respect to his opposed evolving stance on Israel at an event I hosted at Hamptons. Candace also intimated that I blackmailed Charlie on the show.
No, and this is the lie shit that happens here. He did not. Someone, I think it was Megan Kelly, said Charlie told, and I think it was on the show, that he felt like it was moral blackmail. Okay, so
Candace said that she'll be very happy for me to dispute this narrative. While it pains me to drive more traffic to her program, I'm responding here to clear my name. It saddens me that we're here. For the record, at no time have I ever threatened Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA, or anyone associated with them. I've never blackmailed anyone, let alone Charlie Kirk. I've never offered Charlie or Turning Point any money in an attempt to influence Charlie's opinion on anything. In fact, my interactions with Charlie have been
this is your typical thing, right? And I have some personal experience with this just recently with a complete dirtball it was a teacher that did some inappropriate stuff at my daughter's school, made some comments to her as well. He gets investigated and fired. So what does he do? He tells the community that he was fired. The accusations were like pedo-like, okay? And he was definitely grooming, okay? But he waited until they were of age. So he makes these comments that that's what it is. That's not what the investigation was about at all. It was simply that you spent time alone with a student that you shouldn't have, and you were sending her, you were texting her when you shouldn't have, okay? And those two things combined the way it was, and oh, by the way, the personal love notes didn't help either. But when you tell everybody the level is way, way up here, that I was, diddling young kids, and you're like, they looked through my phone, we had this whole thing. I did a lie detector test. Yeah, that you wrote the questions for and you took 3 times. The point being is when you set the standard to everybody out there in the world that it's so high, when the accusations are so different than that, that's your gaslighting, okay? So the point being here is she never said you were blackmailing someone, but he said it felt like emotional blackmail. And so now you get to say, I never blackmailed him. Oh, come on. Turn a phrase here, people. Okay? So it's just a silly little sloppy thing to do.
Cordial, albeit limited, regretfully so, as I was very impressed by him and his work, and I will sadly never see him again. In an effort to clear the record, I should have followed him. I followed Charlie Kirk on X for some time and greatly admired him. While I didn't agree with him on every issue, I had enormous respect for his intelligence, knowledge, clips. I connected with Charlie when he DM'd me in late May of this year and expressed interest in meeting me. In light of our prospective schedules, we were unable to find a time to meet in person, so we scheduled a Zoom on June 11th. On the Zoom, he explained to me that conservatives, in particular young conservatives, were getting tired of defending Israel, and this was a very concerning to him. I asked him how I could learn more.
Let me give you another example, because Hannah Forseen reminds me of this. He or she says, is it crazy to ask if French intel was involved, hoping that certain parties would react predictable? Now, this brings up Bridget Macron. Okay, I think that's what you're talking about here. So Macron, they file a lawsuit against Candace Owens, and I have the complaint. I do need to go over it. It's been a while. Just saw on the news, Bridget's like, hey, or the news is like, she is going to give scientific evidence that she was born a woman. Okay, yeah, that's what it is. Now, first of all, I just saw some other people like, people are gonna start claiming that Taylor Swift is a man just so they can see her parts too. But that, if you look at the lawsuit specifically doesn't claim that Candace Owens defamed her by claiming she was a man. It's for claiming that she stole the identity of someone. Okay, it's specific there. So now though, and this is what happens, it's similar to this, which is you make a defense of an issue that was never brought up. We've all argued with this person, your wife, okay, where we have a complete agreement. And now you're making it about something, tangential, and it's like, stop. Okay, so that's what Bridget's doing here, Macron, and that's also Bill Ackman. So is Bill Ackman actually a tranny? Maybe. I think that's the conclusion we come to.
And he suggested that it might be useful to convene a group of young conservatives influencers on a host of topics that could include Israel to a better sense of how conservative community was thinking about Israel. On his Zoom, Charlie said that this his open mic conversations on campus were very effective in addressing issues on the minds of the students, but he was only one person with limited bandwidth. He suggested that recruiting a group of junior Charlie Kirks, we could open mic sessions on college campuses. Boom. I expressed interest in learning more and thereafter scheduled a series of conference calls with Charlie, Turning Point USA staff, and members of the team, in addition to getting better sense of what were young conservatives going through. Charlie thought doing so might enable him to identify potential candidates who could launch their own campus stores and carry forth his approach to dialogue. We chose the afternoon of August 4th to the afternoon of August 5th for the convening. Charlie and members of my team worked to put together an invitation list. I offered to host the sessions in Bridgehampton and Coveted Cause so that I could attend some of the sessions, so I was working from there at the time. Charlie sent out the invitations, and about 35 influencers accepted it. Charlie estimated that the influencers who attended with relatively 100 million followers. Charlie and Turning Point USA put together the agenda for the meeting, and the topics were economic future of America, the cultural landscape of dating and marriage, conservative Eastern Mamdani, the new threat to America. Charlie asked me to moderate economic topics. Thereafter, I hosted Q&A sessions. The convergence of East and West included a discussion on immigration values, systems, the pro-U.S. approach and foreign policy in Israel. While I had wanted to attend the convergence panel, I had a board meeting that conflicted this. Those that attended the session said that the Israel discussion was similar to other sessions that they attended, explaining various points. Some participants were critical of Israel and some were supportive. The sessions were punctuated by me.
By the way, Eddie Graham wanted to know if we're going to see her, if she has one. I don't know if you guys ever saw the movie Slapshot, a great Robert Redford who just died. No, was he in it? No, it was the other guy, not Redford, but the two that were the other old dude that was good looking man. And it was a hockey movie. And at one point, this guy's like, I want to see some snatch by the pool. Anyway, that's all I remember for that movie.
I attended one group lunch and a group dinner where I sat with Charlie and others. I found the sessions I attended interesting. I really enjoyed the meeting. It gave me considerable perspective on what is on my mind of young Americans, what is on the mind of young Americans. At the end of the event, I sat with Charlie and members of my team, and we discussed the event's convening. Charlie believed that he had identified a number of potential Turning Point ambassadors who could launch open mic events on campus. We corresponded over text thereafter over a few weeks on a range of topics, but not including Israel. And the next thing I knew, he was gone. In short, this was not an intervention to blackmail Charlie Kirk into adopting certain views on Israel. It was nothing of the sort.
Now, I believe that meeting out there may not have intended to be an intervention, but there's that horrible woman that we've seen. She's like some Israeli lawyer. She's argued with Dave, not the Bon or Larica or whatever. It's the other one. She's argued with Dave on Piers Morgan. Evidently, she was screaming at Charlie Kirk. So anyway, let's keep going here.
Eric, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, he's a salad dressing guy.
Ackman, first person. Candace, I heard from someone. I'm going to go with Ackman. That seems like a very detailed description of what happened, and very likely description. I mean, what Ackman pointed out there was why Charlie was so important. A billionaire, a multi-billionaire who has an issue with the growing anti-Semitism on college campuses. He knew where to go. You go to Turning Point because they have the access to the young minds on campuses, not what they're getting from the liberal professors.
Yeah, anti-Semitism. And by the way, I'm always laughing at that because grow the fuck up. These are privileged. And by the way, it started, remember, the whole issue was Harvard. We may have had one, Brown or one of the other. It was very, very privileged universities were concerned about safe spaces for certain people and by the way, if they would separate themselves, like you can be a Jew, but it doesn't mean you have to be a Zionist shill for Israel. If you were just an American Jew, you probably wouldn't, and this isn't justification, I'm just saying, you wouldn't get harassed, right? I don't get harassed when Germany does stupid stuff, right? I mean, come on.
So Ackman goes to Charlie. Ackman saw the benefit, the value in Turning Point and Charlie's.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy's face?
Reach. Everything that Ackman points out sounds like something that a wealthy person with an agenda would do when trying to access Charlie's reach. Let's have a meeting. Let's talk about how we do this. Charlie says, well, maybe not me, but maybe we can get a handful of influencers with a big following, and we can do it that way, thereby not necessarily joining forces, TPUSA, politically with Ackman, but doing it as an assist, so to speak, a mailing or whatever. It kind of puts a little bit of a prophylactic barrier between Charlie Kirk and TPUSA and whatever Ackman is choosing to do. But Charlie, to his credit, listened and heard what Ackman was pushing. I don't hear anything that's a threat. I've never heard of Ackman threatening Charlie Kirk before Candace came up with it, so I'm not really sure where it came from. We should probably hear the...
There you go. So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Do we need to play? I'm not going to do it, but if now we would just pop in, because why is Ackman's his little event that it sounds like he was spearheading there in the Hamptons? Why is that even important? Because it was just days after that. Then Charlie Kirk goes on Megyn Kelly, and he makes the comments, and he gets really worked up. And evidently, he was sending text out to other people about it. So this guy, Eric Bolling, remember, he's a board member. We're going to get to that. That's very important. He's a board member of Turning Point USA. He has the inside scoop and a lot of Botox or something. What the fuck is going on with that face?
actual first-person response.
Vinny,
Now, I will feel bad if he's just been bawling his head off since Charlie died and it's all swollen, but I don't think so.
thoughts?
Towards the end of Charlie's career, his life, God rest his soul, was he getting a little bit more critical on Bibi and the actions of what he was doing? Yes. Was he on Megyn Kelly and he was pissed because he's like, people are calling me anti-Semite. I'm one of the biggest Israel support. He was not happy. Yes. Did this meeting happen in the Hamptons with Charlie and that? Yes. But what the people on our side that are saying Israel was behind it, please, and you guys all know I'm critical as hell of some of the actions that Israel does, break it down.
Okay, I want to understand what this said. I don't know. I didn't hear much about but somebody that I have much trust in did a stream about it the other day. I haven't listened to it yet. What are you talking about? Are you talking about salad dressing? He looks like he's wearing eyeliner too. Yeah, probably.
To me, what happened? So are they saying that Israel, this is where it gets freaking insane, Israel went to Tyler and had him shoot and kill Charlie, have the boyfriend, like, give me the scenario where Israel did it. Give me.
But no, they're great. These straw men are wonderful here. Now, like, I like Vinny because he's not so wrapped up in the Israel first shit. But that's not. They haven't done their research. Okay, they're letting Bill Ackman straw man their way into his way of thinking, which is a diversion. Okay, Candace was talking about TPUSA getting subverted and Charlie pushing back, and that this is a big news issue. It came out. And by the way, she said this multiple times and then she reiterated it today. I don't know how to Candace stand either. I'm defending. I hate these people more. That's what it is here. This is Israel and Palestine, and I'm not taking a side, but I'm definitely not on Israel's side. Okay, and this is Israel's side here. With that in mind, they didn't do their research, and now they get to argue because is she saying this? Okay, well, why don't you play her fucking words to know what she's saying, Vinny?
Give me your opinion. Lay it all out. Just give me some facts. Because now it's getting to the point where it's like, Israel. It's like you're losing the argument in that sense. Because
only Ian Carroll and Toad.
To me, because can we just be honest? The people that are saying that Israel pissed off, Bibi was mad and all that stuff. So how did they do it? Explain to me. How did they convince a 22-year-old white boy who's dating a freaking furry to go on a roof and shoot this guy? What? Because they're like, yeah, we'll take care of your family. Give me an explanation. Does anybody have? I'm being dead serious. I don't know how. What you do? Brainwash him to go? Yeah, I'll go kill this guy. I'm completely lost in that sense. Because if that's what you're saying, if you're saying, hey, he was really pissed at the end, Bibi and them were mad, so they had him killed. Show me the plan. Lay it out, because I'm all ears.
Well, here's what Dave Smith had to say. I think, Adam, you send this clip in the group, Rob, if you want to play this clip on what Dave had to say.
But I see him out there and I've seen a bunch of other people doing this, but it's just like, if you want to go look through it, I mean, it's just crazy. But he had this post about how Israel did this. Israel just
He's talking
murdered
about
Charlie
Ian
Kirk.
Carroll, I believe.
And you know me, I don't know.
Co-host Candace's show sometimes.
Biggest fan of Israel, but I literally just replied and I went, what evidence do we have that Israel was involved
Exactly.
with this
Show
at
it to
all?
me.
And I mean, man, if you want to be disturbed, go look through the replies to that. It is unbelievable how people put together theory. They're like, what evidence do you have? By the way, the answer is none. We have absolutely no evidence. There's absolutely no reason to even suspect that is the case, let alone to determine that it's a fact. And all the things people are posing, it's just like, guys, Jesus Christ, man, I'm sorry. I just don't go for sloppy, kooky theories. Like, if you got some evidence, bring it to me and I'll be the first one to look into it. But then people going like, he was waking up to Israel. Like, dude, he said release the Epstein files. And he, he once on an interview said the pro-Israel people are getting a little too crazy when they're accusing even me of being anti-Israel, but that's about it. And to his credit, he defended having me at the thing and having Tucker and Megan there and stuff. But you've just got no real theory here, and it just makes no sense at all. They telling me the government of Israel took out their #1 guy who still had influence amongst young people.
First of all, I'm totally with Dave on this. I'm willing to, if it comes out or there's more proof, I'm fine with that. Okay. I understand JFK. Why Charlie Kirk? It doesn't really make sense, especially where he was in this situation. Now, I wouldn't put it past them at all. But what's frustrating here is Dave is saying this, and Adam Sosnick is on. Oh yeah. It's in the background. It's like, dude, you haven't had an original thought your whole life. Just fuck off.
People, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all.
And by the way, while this is going on, Dave Smith sounds very reasonable on what he's saying, right? Again, reason versus emotion. But if you look at this one, this is AF post. They said, according to multiple reports, Israel Prime Minister offered Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA, $150 million in cash to adopt an even more pro-Israel stance. Kirk refused the money. If you go a little bit lower, look at the amount of views this thing got. 7.2 million views, 160,000 likes.
Who's the
And then
AF
there's another post, Rob, if you can pull up the other one that says, right below it, that says the journalist behind the report accusing Bibi of offering $150 million is Max Blumenthal, a man who used to work for the Iran-backed newspaper Al Akhbar in Beirut and contributed to Al Jazeera. Why is it every time we track down a lie, we end up finding people connected to Qatar or Iran behind it? So this is why you're hearing both sides of the story. Adam.
Yeah, but that's Blumenthal. That's not Candace, who you're taking out here. So let's take a look here. Keep going.
What do you want to say about the story?
Well, look, when Dave Smith is calling you out for being anti-Israel, you probably have a problem, Candace, Ian Carroll.
Motherfucker, that's not. See, this is where Adam is a piece of shit. Well, there's multiple reasons, but Candace hasn't said Israel was behind it. Matter of fact, she said multiple times that's not her belief. But he likes to just you put them all in there, and next thing you know, and it's not that big of a deal, but it bothers me just
Look,
in principle.
when Dave Smith is calling you out.
Yeah, Scott is here, says Israel did it. Source, I made it up. And now, once again, when you have, let's say you go into a black community, the ghetto, and you're getting robbed and stabbed, okay? And they're like, I don't know who did it, but would it be odd to say maybe a black person did it? Okay, yeah, I get it. Is it odd to think that Israel might have killed someone? I get it, but then you have to like walk your way through this. Even Nick Fuentes isn't there on that. Once again, I'm okay not putting them as a person of interest, keeping them as a person of interest. It just seems very, less likely to me.
For being anti-Israel, you probably have a problem, Candace, Ian Carroll, because that Dave, who we've known for a while, has made his name over the last year criticizing Israel. In fact, at Turning Point USA, when Charlie was hosting the debate between Dave Smith and the other gentleman, he asked him point blank, is Israel an ally of the United States? Dave Smith said no. So that's where Dave Smith is, who happens to be Jewish. But here's a couple different thoughts here. Candace is a shock jock, and she is such a good one, man. She is such a good one. So were Candace and Charlie friends? Yeah, they were. I challenge anybody, please help me out here. Show me one picture, one podcast, one evidence that they've even been in the same room in the last 2 years.
Okay, let's go here. Let's go to, let's see. I actually have it here. I know what you're saying. There we go. So Candace Owens, this was June 14, 2024. They went on a tour together. And matter of fact, I think I actually got it in a hit here. Hang on.
None of us are screaming, let's kill Tyler.
Okay, we're not going to do that. Hang on. Let's go
I told
here.
that I was not allowed to speak at AmFest. The donors were making threats. But I went on tour with
Hang on.
It's also on their website. It's this is like the strangest thing. We could pull up his website. Live Free Tour, Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens. Quiet breakup? Why are we doing this?
Okay, let me start this again. I'm going to play that again. It's a thing from Candace. She's going to play some stuff here.
I told that I was not allowed to speak at AmFest. The donors were making threats, but I went on tour with Turning Point last year. It's also on their website. This is like the strangest thing. We could pull up his website. Live Free Tour, Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens. Quiet breakup? Why are we doing this? It's very strange. Here's all the places that we went to last year. Now they are pushing these headlines that are so far beyond the realm of reality, like the one that I just showed you, where they say that I'm angry. And then when you look into who's writing these articles, like Victoria Churchill, you note that she has a connection to AIPAC. So AIPAC is pushing this, right? The answer is implied by the people who are attacking me. They are all ultras.
Okay, so there you go. So let's go back to Sosnick, and I don't know why the chat's not coming in. Let me see if the full chat. There we go. Can I say something about Candace? Yeah, go. Please say whatever you'd like. I'm not here defending Candace's honor. I'm here mocking these pieces of shit. Okay, because to them it doesn't matter who it is. It could be you. It could be you. It could be Charlie. We saw, and maybe I should find this as well, which is let me go back here. And I'll pull this up because this is actually probably important. You have people, and maybe you feel bad. This is what I have about, and I'm going to get to Kash Patel stuff, which is pieces of shit that are horrible, and then later on they don't take the responsibility, okay? And I know that there's probably some of this coming from like Ben Shapiro. They're acting like it was, they were the best friends with Charlie Kirk, when just recently they were making completely different kinds of conversations. Matter of fact, let's take this one. This was just talking about Charlie Kirk after the, I don't know what you call it, the intervention or whatnot. This is him and Levin talking about Charlie Kirk specifically.
To me, Ben Shapiro, you and I, had people who we thought were conservative sound a lot like the Marxist Islamic.
Who does one respond to the claims of ethnic cleansing? How many people here believe?
Okay, that's not the one, the clip I thought it was going to be. Sorry, but he and Ben Shapiro had recently basically made comments about Charlie Kirk, and that you can't put clowns basically in front of the conservative movement. Let's keep going here.
Last thing I found, the last time they did anything was on October 3rd, 2023. Ironically, a couple days before October 7th. Show me any evidence, 2023, 2 years. The last thing I found, the last time they did anything was on October 3rd, 2023. Ironically, a couple days before October 7th. Show me any evidence that they've been in touch, they've been in dialogue, they've done anything together. I would love to see it. So they were friends. I don't.
Okay, so 2023 is his recollection or his research, because he's crackpot. 2024, we just saw that they were going on tour together. Candace's own thing. It's on the Turning Point website that they were going on tour together in 2024. So he's a year or so off. But even then, do you know what they're doing in personal life? She got fired from the Daily Wire. She had her own thing going. She still went on some tours with him. And then my point on this is just like, what does that mean to you people? These losers.
I don't think they are friends. I think that Candace is capitalizing on Charlie's death. I think she feels horrible. She doesn't feel good about this. But Candace is an opportunist. And if we know anything about Candace, over the last couple of years, has she been biased, non-biased towards Israel? In my mind, she's been blind with rage. So, there's people that you cut out of your life.
What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? She hates Israel. Okay. So what? Are you saying Charlie had his thing was Israel first, and if you're not for Israel, he's going to cut you out of his life? I don't know.
Life? Yeah, we're not. Like, how many people that you used to drink with, you're like, I can't hang out with you anymore.
The majority of the people, because that's all we had. That's all we had in common was drinking.
But you still had friends.
Of course, I still have friends.
We kept Adam though.
But
I did.
Yeah,
thank you.
Go ahead.
But you kept. Thank you for that, Pat. Yeah. You still love them. You still care about them.
1,000%.
You just don't hang out with them.
We
at
have
all.
nothing in common right now.
Bingo.
I'm
That's
a different
Candace
person.
and Charlie.
Well, that was early though, right?
They have.
How does he know that?
They started
10 years ago, 5 years ago.
Were a team,
they were friends.
Force.
Show me evidence that they're still friends. Hold on, Eric. Hold on. If you want evidence, actual receipts, actual, not opinions, not I feel, actual receipts. Well, Bill Ackman brought receipts. But what about Andrew Colvett? Andrew Colvett, who we all know, is the executive producer of the Charlie Kirk Show. Look at his post on X. To sum that up, he basically said, yeah, Candace is lying. He basically said, Bill Ackman.
When did he say that?
Look at his tweets right now. They said Bill and Charlie were cordial, they're friendly, there was no conflict. Yeah. We were in the room the entire time.
Did he say that?
Yeah, straight up. Fact check me on this. So at some point, we're going to have to acknowledge something about Candace.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Can you read this? I've been asked by Bill Ackman even more times. I was traveling with Charlie Kirk to find out what's true, but his team was with him 100% of the time when he wasn't in hotel room. Here's what they told me. Bill never yelled at Charlie, never pressed him on BB, never gave...
Okay. That's not... This is a different tweet. He says, this guy was there. Now, this guy is here's what they told me. This is... this is hearsay he's hearsay coming... It's double hearsay, okay? So this is not acceptable.
He wasn't in hotel room. Here's what they told me. Bill never yelled at Charlie, never pressed him on BB, never gave him a list of Charlie's offenses against Israel. There was concern raised about having Tucker at SAS. What is that? SAS?
Okay.
What is
Student Action Summit.
We don't live in time. Charlie's reply was, honestly, people telling me not to have Tucker makes me want to have Tucker, and I'm going to lock him in for AmFest 2. Charlie personally told me he had a very cordial relationship with Bill, and the event was productive. Those are the facts.
Okay. So that's subtly saying, Candace, you have no idea what you're talking about.
That's not at all.
So...
I'm sorry, I could really weave this differently if I'm in court. One, they're saying he did have problems. We're going down here. We had a cordial relationship. Fine. Honestly, people telling me not to have Tucker makes me want to have Tucker, and I'm going to lock him in for AmFest. Basically, the idea there is they told him about Tucker. Maybe he came away feeling that, okay? So anyway.
At what point are we going to say, well, maybe Candace just is completely unbiased here? So there's justified criticism of Israel? Sure. There's
biased or unbiased? Biased. You meant to say biased.
You're saying she's biased towards Israel.
Or against Israel.
Oh, okay.
Well, is that fair to say?
You're being biased.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so there's
this guy is
justified
so
criticism.
fucking stupid.
There's unjustified criticism. There's lies and deception. And then there's just outright hate. I would ask you, what category is Candace in regarding Israel? I don't know if she outright hates Israel, outright hates Jews. I'm not there.
Once again, I'm not letting this go. Why is Israel related to the Jews? Is it because it's an ethno-state? Otherwise, we just say Israel. We don't have to say Jews, right? It's not like, Italy and you hate the Catholics. It's like, hang on a bit. Is it a Catholic nation? I don't know, probably predominantly. But, and I know it is an ethno-state, Sosnick, okay?
But is her criticism completely justified? Is it completely unbiased? Or is she using lies and deception here? Last point here. You offered Tucker $100 million to join Valuetainment. True or false?
Yes.
Did you post it on Twitter at the time?
We posted. We went to his place. We sent the guy to his place to make the offer.
So there was a formal offer and a formal contract.
Documented.
If someone's going to offer Charlie Kirk $150 million, don't you think there's going to be a public statement, a contract, a tweet? Is it just, yo, buddy, you want $150 million? Come on our team. To me, it's nonsensical.
What? I didn't know that there was an offer to Tucker for $100 million. They made a scene about it. Do you think when a government wants to buy propaganda and they want to buy access by going to colleges and having that they are going to make it a public issue? No. How dumb is this guy? This is supposed to be like some business thing where you guys are all smart and you know shit from Shinola. This is amazing. This is amazing.
Unless you show receipts.
But I will say this: every time I see a Sosnick clip or I play stuff like this, I have the same visceral reaction about just how completely dense this guy is. And yet, I don't know how much he makes working there, but he's obviously doing well.
Candace, to her credit, showed a lot of receipts with Macron's wife's penis, whatever that is. She did an entire documentary. In my opinion, she took a year out of her life, and I'm not joking, to find his penis. I don't know where that is right now. But at what point is Candace going to say?
So he gives credit that he says the document, his penis. He even said his penis to talking about Macron. I guess she convinced you.
You know what? I actually don't have any receipts whatsoever. I'm just stoking the flame and making a name for myself with my former friend's death, because I see zero evidence that they're even still friends. And now you have the executive producer.
By the way, I want to address this here. I know we're breaking up here, but an screwed up Nevsky says an ethno-state is not a bad thing, but lying about it is super gay. I understand, and I've had this kind of back and forth with Pete Quinones because look, Israel, they're doing what maybe you want to do, okay, with your life. Have a state that's just your people and whatnot. I get it. But I'm also not okay. I don't. Sometimes too much of your people, what is like inbred. Okay, it fosters some things. You're gonna hate me, but sometimes diversity. It depends what kind of diversity isn't the worst thing. Now I live in a very white neighborhood, but there's some diversity here. We got some Polish people. I don't know. Israel is secular, but it's still called the Jewish state. So obviously it's an ethno-state. Yeah, I get it. Sosnick is the reason I can't watch it. Absolutely. He is. And PBD is the reason too.
Of Charlie Kirk's podcast, Andrew Colvett basically saying, yeah, Candace is not telling the truth.
No. Cloven said, or whatever his name, Clove-Tuft guy said, I talked to some people who were there. They were with him the whole time, except for in the hotel. Now, and this is what they said, which is hearsay and hearsay. The problem you have, Sosnick, is Charlie Kirk himself went on Megyn Kelly, bitched and complained about this issue, saying it was trouble.
Point blank.
Eric, you were going to say something.
Well, I was just going to say, I was going to agree with you, Adam, that early on, 2011, 2012, 2013, they were tight. They grew TPUSA like crazy. I was shocked to see her leave until being part of TPUSA. Her theories got just a little bit too down the rabbit holes. It was too extreme for their taste. And Charlie, to his credit, kept a cordial friendship with her for years, but it hasn't been a communication pipeline back and forth between the two for many years. That's why I don't know why we give Candace Owens' assessment any weight at all.
Because we're reasonable. There's a lot of people. But she did a tweet. There's 10 million people, 10 million views who trust Candace. At what point are we going to say Candace gives opinions? Is the FBI? Is the CIA? Is anyone in the intelligence saying we have credible evidence to find that Israel is at play here? Zero. This is Candace spouting on the internet. Right. And at what point are people...
Is Candace saying it, Sosnick? No, she's not. And you people maybe go like, oh, well, she isn't. No, go watch her show. If you want that, then you know what? This is a perfect gotcha. Okay? Because you can do what Sosnick is doing here and this little feminine face he's got going on here. You can go and find that clip yourself. I just saw her today saying, what are you talking about? I've never said Israel was part of this. But it is fun to rip on Israel at any point. At least that's my opinion.
We're going to be like, we just can't trust what she's saying. Last thing about Candace.
So can you trust what he's saying when he misquotes?
Look, every time I've hung out with Candace, I've enjoyed my time with Candace. I think she's cool. I think she's fun. I think she's gone down a deep, dark rabbit hole the last couple of years. That's my opinion. Her entire career, you can almost assess that it's Jews or very pro-Israel people that have put her on. And she slapped them all in the face. Dennis Prager, Dave Rubin, Charlie Kirk to an extent, Ben Shapiro on Daily Wire. They all gave her a platform. And then she just spits in all their face. And now...
Oh, this is my, once again, going back to everything. Spits in their face because she talks about a foreign country. Not because she's necessarily talking about Jews. She's talking about a foreign country, Israel. And that spits in the face of American Jews? Sosnick, how dare you? It is so fucking bold.
None of them want anything to do with him. It's very reminiscent in a weird way of the U.S.-China relation. Who opened up the China's role in the world, in the World Trade Organization? Wasn't it Richard Nixon? Didn't Bill Clinton open up a trade organization with China? And now China is our biggest competitor? And they basically spew anti-American rhetoric and try to... tear down American hegemony around the world. At some point, you would say this. We've said this in the podcast. Have a little respect for what America's done for you. But now China has no respect for America. They want to tear down America. That is very symbolic of what
Candace is China. Zionist Israeli Jews are America. There you go. That's Adam's conclusion. Wow.
Is doing to Israel and the Jewish community.
Vinny.
I mean, I'm happy that you said it. And I think we said this once before. She doesn't hate Jewish people. She clearly doesn't like Bibi Netanyahu and what Israel does government-wise. I wouldn't ever put a blanket over it, but you guys know me. But in this situation, we have the guy, we have the suspect, we have his boyfriend, we have text messages, we have a video jumping off the roof. There's evidence, there's DNA,
I will give all of this, yes, but stop saying that you guys, you suck at your research. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you for the podcast because my brain was going here, but you have to be
did he just do the Hitler
able to come here and go, okay, this is happening here. This is how my feelings are.
There you go. That's not a good look, Vinny. Hitler.
Right here. They have the guy. So unless people are saying, because let's strip it all down. If Israel's behind it, how did they do it? Show me, please. Give me the proof and I'll go, oh my God.
No, you don't, Vinny.
No, I want proof.
You're being way too logical.
No.
You don't need proof.
No, I have to have proof.
Just speculate on the internet.
No.
And throw out a bomb.
No, because, like for instance, the 150 million, I want to see. Show me.
But the point is, there's none.
I don't. Well, that's why. That's why I have a hard time. That's why I have a hard time.
At some point, her credibility, is going to go down the.
You tell me if you take my word for it that she's not said Israel is behind it. How do you give this guy credibility? I'm gonna keep. It's unbelievable.
She needs to bring receipts. Bill Ackman brought receipts. How long was that?
By the way, he didn't bring receipts. He ended up posting just something that he said. He didn't bring receipts with it. Later on, he posts some text messages without date stamps. I just had a trial. Someone's trying to introduce text messages, and you have authentication. You have to basically, whose texts are they? Okay, they're yours. We'll be able to, I'm like, I don't know what date these are. And the judge is like, yeah, we're not putting these in. Why don't you get screenshots with dates attached and we'll have this. This is bullshit.
It's still going. I think
he was there in
Ron's
the
still
room.
reading it.
Andrew Colbert was there in the room. You're on the board of Turning Point?
Yeah.
Okay. When's the last time you saw Candace Owens?
I'm on the board. Let's go back here once again.
You're on the board of Turning Point?
Yeah.
Okay. When's the last time you saw Candace Owens?
In person?
Yeah.
2015,
Oh,
2016.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. No,
When's the last time she was at a Turning Point event?
Not in many years.
Okay.
But
So let's,
here, you don't
without
have to do
even
this.
being.
We just saw that. Let's play it once again. We're going to start it over here with Candace Owen. She hasn't been in years.
I told that I was not allowed to speak at AmFest. The donors were making threats, but like I went on tour with Turning Point last year. It's still on their website. It's so this is like the strangest thing. We could pull up this website.
There you go. 2024. Candace Owens going on tour with Charlie Kirk. There you go. So let's keep going with these buffoons.
There's no question proof that Candace Owens has nothing to do. She would be in a perfect world if they didn't have this. What I already know was a very quiet breakup where she got too rabbit hole for him. She would be the logical heir to the TPUSA throne, but she's not.
And now she's not even invited.
Correct. So this is so their divide is.
Wait a minute, not invited meaning
She's not even there.
Yeah, she's not
there.
one of the names.
Wait, you don't think she'll be at the funeral?
No.
That's
I mean,
not the funeral.
The heir to the
Okay.
TPUSA throne.
She doesn't speak at the events anymore.
I mean, Erica.
That's a reason
Erica
for that.
Kirk. I mean,
what is Erica Kirk's relationship?
She spoke in 2024. 2024 isn't even. We're in September. Part of 2024 was just 9 months ago. Okay, so let's keep going. Oops. What's going on
with Candace at this point?
I
Is there a relationship?
I don't think so.
Why do you not think so?
Because I live in this world.
Okay.
I live in
you
this.
know this world. Tell us.
I don't see them together. I don't think. I think Candace has created a lane for herself. That's it's her own lane. She wants to go after Macron's husband or wife or whatever you want to call him. She wants. I agree.
It's telling when they say husband. Immediately they give her credit. All of them have called Bridget a man because of Candace. These motherfuckers, they're so
I think it's cheap that she is sparking this up like she knows something between something happened between Ackman and Charlie. For what reason?
Here's what I would say. To me, I think when I look at talent, I look at reason, then I look at if it's improving the situation in America or making it worse. Talent. You have dinner with Candace, you're with her, capable, great communicator. You put the camera on, she shines. Camera's on, she shines very well. And we've had her on with us at the Derby. We've spent time with her. She's been to our house multiple times. We've had.
This is my criticism of Candace, Dave Smith, and all these, which is they act like, because I've noticed Dave especially, which is, and Clint was the same way, but he didn't get his chance, which is, Patrick McDavid, he's Mr. Moneyman, and he wants me on his show, and I'm so privileged. And I'm like, he also has Sosnick on there all the time. How special. And Cuomo. Now, he gave you the chance to argue against Cuomo, but, let's give me a break.
Dinner, super capable person that we've had these conversations together with. Spent time with her husband, a smart guy, good guy. They have very good stories together. You go to the other side on positions taking, okay? When you take the positions that you've taken on what you're saying. All right. Is it for business purposes? It's obviously working. Her live stream was massive yesterday, bigger than anybody else's that took place. We had a live stream that we did on election night. We hit 282, 283. I don't know what the number was. Google told us it was the biggest concurrent. She hit 266 yesterday by herself. Listen, the numbers are the numbers. But it doesn't mean it's the right message. Hit 'em Up, a rap song blew up. Does it mean it's a good song for everybody? Who listened to it? I'm trying to really see, if you want to get eyeballs, go write a song called F the Police. Oh my God, look at the song, look how great it did. Okay, yeah. Are you solving for eyeballs? Are you solving to be a sinner just to bring America to get at a time like this? I don't know.
Okay, let's answer some questions here. First of all, Eddie says, Tyler, you must be worth every cent for representation in court, right? A lot of dollars, and I believe you're correct. I do fight hard. Let me give you some behind the scenes. I was really frustrated with a client recently. Good guy, just he's having a hard time getting a hold of me. And then opposing counsel files a motion, and we're trying to work some things out before court. So she calls me, and we're talking about it before court. Okay, court's at 10 o'clock Pacific, and it was like 9 o'clock, and she calls me to see if we can kind of work some things out. And she makes some comment about this was just for child support. My client, anyway, we won't have to say custody had just recently changed. And so she says, what was the old order? You said it was X amount. And I'm like, yeah, I got that because you had sent over a settlement agreement wrapping this up. It was a former order. You said it was $191. No, I just said what it was. You said it was this amount. So I got it from your pleadings. She's like, oh, well, that was from former counsel and da-da-da-da-da. And then she's like, well, that means the last order I got was much more. And so maybe he owes arrears. I said, well, maybe. I said, you filed the motion. You didn't do the research before you filed the motion? She did not like that. She did not like that at all. And she starts coming at me. And I'm just like, ma'am, what do you want me to say? You're making arguments now, and you had just said you didn't know. I'm like, you're the one that filed the motion. Now you're asking me about it. Now you want to go argue in front of court. First of all, you didn't plead it. We're not going to let it happen. And I was a total dick. Okay. And then she starts coming at me, and she's like, this is completely unprofessional. And I'm like, and I wanted to say something like, you're an attorney and you can't handle a little pushback. And I'm just sitting there. And she says this to me. She goes, you know what? She goes, our clients suck. And when this is all said and done, someday later on, we're going to have to work together on another case, and those clients are going to suck too. And yet you're talking to me like this. And you know what? I thought to myself, and I go, you know what? As I said to her, I go, you know what? I am sorry. As a matter of fact, I sincerely apologize, and I'm sincerely sorry, because I do hate it when opposing counsel acts like they are defending their own kids and they can't have a conversation with each other. I get it. I'm with you. And I realized I was frustrated with my own client for putting me in this position of not communicating with me enough before court. So, I get worked up, and I get, you say these things. So just appreciated that. Anyway, yes, I remember when Rob Bernstein got mad at me, said, go fuck yourself, Tyler, for asking a question about PBD. I may have said it wrong, but my point was, how do you justify going on? What do you think about Patrick McDavid, basically, when he hires someone like Cuomo, and then you want to act like he is some amazing businessman, and the pinnacle of his hiring is Sosnick and what's his name? I don't know who Bobby is. So we're talking about Bobby. Robert Bernstein, 191 million, da-da-da. I often use Bernstein for a frog of how thin that dude's skin is. Yeah, Bernstein is an interesting one. He's on Dave's show just so Dave talks to him. I think Rob's good with some stuff, and I've tried to watch his own show, and I'm just not interested. Anyway, let's finish this. I want to finish this off.
And by the way, I'd love to see the profile of people that are watching all of it. I don't know what's going on. I do know she was, she has you don't need to read between the lines to see how many times she takes shots at Ben Shapiro. I get it. I see it. Okay, you guys had a falling out at where you were at. And then it brings me to the last thing, which is by far the most important thing. You know what the most important thing to me is? It's the following. How does Erica feel about it? I don't know. By the way, if Candace and Erica are speaking every day, and she's saying, oh, thank you so much, Candace, for doing it. Please keep talking about it. Then awesome. I'm with it. Keep doing it. But if Erica is sitting there saying, dude, can you just stop for 1 week and make this about my husband's funeral that's coming up this Sunday? Just take a 1 week break.
Wait, but they're doing how many hours of this show are they talking? I mean, this part right here, it started at 1:19. We're at 1:46. We're like 30 minutes in on them talking about Candace, and they're going to complain. You can't have it all that way. I get it. And by the way, you know me, this came out the day he was shot, and I was kind of pissed off at a few people, unnamed, pearl clutching me that I am. I was kind of pissed off about the way that they were acting about it. And I said so, because I thought, time for humanity. I'm sorry, we're good now. Make your jokes, talk about his legacy. I think it's fine to do that all now. My point was, between the time he was shot and declared dead, maybe if you didn't know anything at that point, that wasn't the time, okay? I'm good now. Let's go. Let's talk about his legacy. Let's talk about all this stuff. Go fuck yourself, Patrick McDavid, if you don't think it's time for that.
If Erica is supportive of everything Candace is doing, guess what? Awesome. Respect. And I don't know that. Maybe Erica and Candace are best of friends. By the way, full what's the word? Full disclosure. Full disclosure. I've never had a text phone call with Erica before. Only time I've said hi to Erica is when Charlie was there, and we've never spoken. So I've never had a conversation.
Why
with
would
her. She's always been very respectful,
we need disclosure
very sweet, and
about
obviously
that?
her number one priority is God and her husband every single time. So
that felt a little Netanyahu-like. By the way, I'm just letting you know, I've never texted her. Well, we didn't think you had. Why would you be? Why would any of these? You know, I bet Candace has her phone number because she was friends with Charlie Kirk. You shouldn't have had it because you weren't friends with Charlie Kirk.
If Candace and Eric are speaking, and Candace is saying, Erica's saying, Candace, thank you so much for defending my husband.
Who
Thank you
cares
so much
what
for
they're
doing
saying?
this.
I'm
You're so
interested
amazing.
in the
Candace,
murder.
double down. But I don't know if this was me and your jump.
This is why I called this The View at one point. This is the male version of The View, and it's almost unwatchable. But I appreciate them giving me something to watch.
Been on the numbers and all this stuff while this is taking place, and my wife is like, Vinny, can you not make this about you?
Joke time, ready to go.
Adam, can you stop?
By the way, I always thought it was joke time.
Can I have this moment with my husband? Can we not already start with all this stuff? Can we? Can we just pump the brakes a little bit? This is too much. You're not making my life any better right now. I'm trying to put an event together with 65,000 people in a place, and everybody who's coming in, their biggest fear is what? How is this place protected? How? Trump's going to be there. J.D. Vance is going to be there. Junior's going to be speaking. Tucker's going to be speaking. Miller's going to be speaking. Hexet's going to be speaking. RFK's going to be speaking. Tulsi's going to be speaking. His wife's going to be speaking. She's trying to overcome that while trying to continue getting the organization going and all the rumors. Who's going to run it? Who's going to replace Charlie? Who's going to do this? Do you know how much pressure is on her and her team? So to me, take all the talent and the relationship out. What it comes down to is, Candace, if this is improving the current emotional state Erica's at, keep at it.
Oh, God.
If it's not,
these guys are worse than females. I can't. We got to get to the good start. There's still haven't said it all. Let's
increasing the temperature. And I understand that one that's going to be, that is the, that's
earlier talk.
Eric, I think you wanted to say something.
Well, a couple of thoughts in there. You were earlier talking about let's give it a rest. Let's not capitalize on it. You have this mug here that says words talk, numbers scream. Her numbers are screaming. It's probably overruling her better judgment to wait a little while. There's a great movie, a Denzel Washington movie, Spike Lee movie out right now. It's on streaming on, I think, Apple TV. It's called Highest to Lowest. And one of the subplots is A$AP Rocky is a rapper, young rapper, and he gets caught doing some really bad stuff. And the final scene.
You're going to talk black culture now?
Is Denzel Washington, who finally gets him to, he catches him doing bad stuff. And his point was this rapper is like, I'm going to let you, Denzel Washington, sign me. Denzel Washington's a music executive. Let you sign me. And Denzel Washington, he's in jail. Why am I going to do this? You're going to be huge because you're going to sign the biggest rapper in the history. Yeah, but you're going to be gone for 25 years. Yeah, but you know how big I'm going to be from prison? That's the mentality. The mentality right now is let's get clicks, let's get followers, let's get social media, digital footprints, bigger reach. I don't matter. And it's kind of a metaphor for what's going on.
You can't say that as you have a show, right? And as you're guesting on a podcast, you can't say, talking about this issue, you can't go on there and complain about this, can you?
With people, I will also note that you said this, or if Trump's going to talk, JD, et cetera, Junior. There's another speaker here, and this may be a little controversial, but Suzanne Scott is one of the speakers. She's listed on that list. Sergio Gore and then
That's
Suzanne.
Fox
She ran
News,
Fox.
yeah.
She runs Fox News. Charlie was banned from Fox News for a long time. He was not allowed on
my
that
God.
network.
How dare you talk about that? That does not forward the cohesive relationship between Erica and me.
For several years. Now,
why is that?
They felt he was too extreme. They just think, if you look,
they felt that Charlie was.
Well, that is the common wisdom. I spent 11 years at Fox, and I will tell you, early on when Trump was first elected in 2016, Charlie Kirk was one of the young guys who helped Trump the first time. He started to grow, and then he was not on Fox for probably 5 to 6 years. And people were just, the speculation was, Murdochs never have been very pro-MAGA. They just haven't. But so it's almost a little hypocritical that Suzanne's going to be one of the people speaking, because they kept him off Fox for many years, up until recently when they brought him back on. I do notice Charlie had
Notice this. It's hypocritical for Fox News executive to come and talk. But yet one of his friends, one of the starting people, they're going to now complain about Candace.
Big ad campaign on Fox. You see him on some of the breaks.
I'm not defending Candace, by the way. That's all this thing. I'm ripping on these losers who are straw-manning arguments and making lies. If you want to go after Candace appropriately. That's what bothers me. It just really bothers me, especially when you got a face like
It may still be running. So we started to spend a lot of money at Fox, and then they brought him in to fill in on one of the weekend shows. Fox
Sunday,
and Friends,
yeah, that's right.
Where the little girl comes running to him.
That's right.
So they've made amends.
But they made amends. What was recent, Adam? It was within the last 6 months. Look back before that. It was years where he didn't appear on Fox. Not Hannity, not Laura Ingraham, nowhere. I just find all of a sudden he's welcome and wall-to-wall coverage for the past week on Fox of Charlie, and it's like, you got to do it, I guess. But here's another example of not staying true to what you have been. They didn't even acknowledge that either.
Let me affirm what I think Pat was saying is that Erica, nobody, you always say, who's the last person in your ear? Who's the last person you speak to? Well, if you're married, it's usually your wife. Nobody knows you more than your wife or your spouse, your significant other. That's what I think you're saying with Erica, respectfully. So yes, what we also know is that we have something that you talk about being a part of the inner circle. So who was Charlie's inner circle? Well, one of them was definitely Andrew, right? He was executive producer. So I think he
was so inner circle, he wasn't at the meeting that he tweeted about having to hear from someone else. There you go, Adam.
Beyond the wife, the next most credibility here. So he just basically said that Candace was lying in so many words. Number two, is Candace speaking? If they were such good friends, why isn't she speaking? I don't know.
Charlie's dead. Charlie can't tell you who he wants speaking. We just heard from Eric Bolling that the person who is keeping him off of Fox is speaking. So obviously it's not about true friends. It's about appearances. And so this is not a good argument.
Oh, I don't know if she's going to be there. I don't know. But there's nothing indicating that they're still friends. And I think Pat is absolutely right. By the way,
they're not, because he's dead.
They're doing sort of like this, group effort to host the Charlie Kirk show. Did they pick Candace to host the show yesterday? No, but they picked the Daily Wire crew. They picked Ben Shapiro and Matt Wall.
By the way, thank you, Sosnick. Thank you. Yes, they picked the Daily Wire crew, who just a few days before, Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro were saying that someone like Charlie Kirk should not be at all in the conservative movement. Okay,
Walsh and the gang, Michael Knowles. The proof is right in front of our face. So I don't know. There's right there. They didn't pick Candace. My opinion. This is my opinion. Is that Candace was friends with Charlie, not is friends with Charlie, and there's clearly from 2023 a divide. You were part of our crew. You are no longer part of our crew. That's my opinion. Can I show one clip of Candace? This is her words.
I told that I was not allowed to speak at AmFest. The donors were making threats, but I went on tour with Turning Point last year. It's still on their website. This is like the strangest thing. We could pull up this website.
Situations. I've never said that Candace is stupid. I've never said she's crazy. I've always given her credit.
You did say she was crazy.
But I would not want to mess with this woman. Do you have that clip about don't you dare? Watch this. This is Candace in a nutshell.
Those of you who think that you are going to replace Charlie Kirk, okay? Kings are born. You don't just get to depose and tell us that we're going to follow this individual, okay? I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point USA. You put a shill in Charlie Kirk's chair, in Charlie Kirk's company, and you try to tell us to follow that individual, I will be an enemy of you. There will be nothing that can stop me, okay? And I want you guys to say, this is not a threat. This is a promise. There will be nothing that can stop me. I will release every single text message. So to those of you who are trying that, I'm seeing the messages. I am telling you to back off right now. Like right now, don't do it, okay? Don't you think about it. I know exactly who you are. I know exactly who you were that were exerting pressure. Don't you pretend to be noble now and say nice things about Charlie Kirk and think you're going to slide into his chair, okay? Over my dead body, which I'm sure can be arranged.
Okay.
Well, what do you think she's saying?
You think she's talking to Shapiro?
I don't know if she's talking to Nick Fuentes. I don't know if she's talking to Ben Shapiro. I don't know.
I mean, if you had to guess,
I don't know. We don't know.
I don't think it's Nick Fuentes.
I don't know. It was so stupid. He just said Nick Fuentes. That's not going to happen with Nick. I'm sorry. And I don't know that Candace hates Nick. She just had him on her show, and yes, it was contentious, but Nick, girled out. We played those clips.
Say Ben Shapiro.
Okay. But she seems venomous and angry and passionate.
When was that?
That was 2 days ago.
And so they put Shapiro in the seat yesterday after J.D. Vance the first day.
Yeah, but Ben Shapiro, who, by the way, they just pledged, Daily Wire pledged, I think, $1 million to Charlie. How much did Candace? How much did Candace get? How much did Candace get?
Where did that money come from? I've heard that they're using credit cards. That Daily Wire's having trouble.
Shapiro wants it. He needs it. He's done well, but he needs the Turning Point USA. He needs the money now. He needs the access. So I see why he did. But I don't know who she was talking. She had to be talking to Ben Shapiro.
If I had to guess, I
don't think she's talking to TP USA management, the people who are going to decide who takes. No, she was making threats to people who think they're heir to the throne of Charlie Kirk.
These guys are so stupid. Ben Shapiro went and said, "I'm going to pick up the bloody mic."
Meanwhile, she didn't say she was either.
But I would assume that.
By the way, if she is talking about Ben Shapiro, and I have no clue, my gut was Nick.
You have no clue.
Fuentes, because he's trying to take the mantle for
wait.
America First. Hold on, hear me out.
He's got zero shot.
You think if she had text messages with Ben Shapiro after everything they've been through, they wouldn't have been released already? You think she's holding back? You think Candace is the type of person the last 2 years that has held back?
I'm going to skip forward here.
But I'm trying to see what you're saying. What's your point here? Tell me what your point is.
I'm saying she is angry and venomous right now.
Yeah.
And that is not a person that you want to mess with. She's capable and she's filled with rage. That's all I'm saying. Do you think on the power versus force chart, I'd love to see where Pat thinks about this. Rob, if you could pull that up. Power versus force. Please show me where you think Candace is operating out
Vinny, what do you
right
think she's
now.
at?
Show the
on
chart.
Power versus force, what do you think she's at?
Let me see the chart.
We
they've
just
got a
lit this up
chart,
above.
people.
If I had to,
We're going to quantify
Go to
Candace
the
Owens.
third row level.
I'm not going to play this. Let's go through. They're going to say some stupid shit. I want to get.
Tell me why.
I think we need to be there.
Tell me why. Because it's good to be there.
I do. Yeah, sure. It's not time to take the tone
I
down.
fully disagree with you, my friend Eric.
I'm not suggesting violence. I'm not suggesting violence at all. When I'm saying stay pissed off, stay angry. I had a tragic loss in my life. I lost a child in college. You do go through stages of grief, confusion, sadness. For this, I announced it at 4:13 p.m. last Wednesday. Charlie Kirk had died from the gunshot from the assassin. I went immediately to anger. There are people crying on the set. If you guys have the clip somewhere, but people are started to cry.
Why do you
on the
want to
set,
see that clip?
And I just went right to. I'm fucking pissed off. This is enough. We're not going to sit down and I don't mean hurt people. I mean use your voice. Charlie was killed because he used words. We need to say I am.
Okay, let's go past because there's some other things I want to get to right at the end of the Charlie Kirk shit.
She was angry.
No, there we go. Let's see.
She's.
Wow, they love this chart because it's got colors. Hang on, we're processing here.
I'm reading this about crows and eagles.
Maybe we're done. Maybe we're done with this part. I thought there was one more part here.
Do whatever I want, but the actual self-reasonable was a problem 1,000 years ago.
I believe we need on the right to stay angry.
Okay, so he's got trouble. Okay, so what I want to talk about now is he said he was a, let's see, is this it? No, I think we already put that. Bollinger said he was a TPUSA, let me get this here, a TPUSA board member, right? So we need to take a look at this. Okay, so here's what he tweeted. He actually said, as a longtime board member, TPUSA, I cannot express how much I know TPUSA will survive and thrive again. RIP Charlie Kirk, da-da-da-da. And then he shows this this thing. Now, it doesn't say board member, it says honorary board, okay? This is not any, if you got to put on your, I don't know if it's 501c3 forms, taxes, and you say voting, right? This is an honorary board. Ambassador Richard A. Grinnell, okay? Colonel Alan West, Dr. Sebastian Gorka, Lord have mercy, and Eric Bolling. So he's definitely associated, but this is Bill Cosby getting a degree or some other person that never graduated college getting a doctorate out of college that they didn't go to. They feel good about it, right? It doesn't mean he's actually a doctor. It doesn't mean he's actually a board member. He's an honorary board member, okay? So with that in mind, there you go. There's Eric Bolling. He's claiming he's a board member multiple times. We've had that. We already did that. So I decided to ask Grok board members for Turning Point USA. It gave me a list. And then I'm like, hey, because it said, here's the new ones. So TPUSA board members prior to September 18, when they just voted Erica in, because Erica now is the chairman of the board, CEO. And here it is, David Engelhart, Doug DeGroot, Mike Miller, Tom Sadoika, and then an unnamed fifth director, not explicitly detailed in the transmission. But it's not Eric Bolling. So Eric Bolling lied multiple times about being a board member. I'm sorry, you're not a board member. They think that you're actually have something to do with it. You are an honorary board member, and it's not the same thing. Now, I had other things tonight that I was going to go over, which were going to be stuff about Kash Patel. Okay, in court, talking about the Epstein. I think he was disgusting in his little display with the Senate and then the Congress. He wouldn't answer questions. They are disgusting people too. I'm going to have to do this next week because I really have to go and take a piss. Ben Shapiro would be a good fit, but he's for a smaller target. Words do talk, after all. Chairman of the board, I believe it. So anyway, we'll get to Kash Patel's quotes. Maybe we'll do a weekend show. Remember, we're on Substack, tyleryonkey.substack.com. You go over there. I'm streaming over there, and we're going to do some, I am going to do it. A members only. You can join for free still. Defamation, that is going to be a documentary we're going to watch sometime, maybe over the weekend. Who knows? I'm a busy man. I don't know if you guys are, but I hope you all have a good weekend, and we are going to be going out on the Teamcast. Music here. Everybody, love y'all, and until next week, see ya.
To my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.